space in terms of what you can say, what you can't say, how to say certain things. It's been it's a learning curve, to say the least.
For me, it's a learning curve, and I was always out there, but now it's like, when I post, somebody's like, oh, okay, AdventPod girl, you know.
So I'm more of a person who believe I should not be seen much. Like, even if the things I do doesn't really need to be seen. Like,
you didn't want to sit here. You wanted to like we had to force him to sit.
I'm behind the scene kind of person.
I've always wanted to learn first how to be
Well, welcome to the AdventPod.
A timely voice indeed.
Yes.
I am Nande Unane Mwedi, and I'm your host for today, but I'm not alone. I'm with my co-hosts. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everybody, this is Kahana Sidupane, Kahi by Nature International. Let's go.
And I just come and say I'm Kamapidai. Like
seriously.
like
Which one is it?
We also need to come up with taglines now, guys.
Make sure.
And I'm Kamapidane.
Okay.
Sihle Bidi.
Right, welcome. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share,
Notification
with us.
bell.
Go follow us on Instagram, go follow us on TikTok. We're not an X yet, but amen. So today's video is a stock taking, get to know us just a little bit, we don't know each other.
We don't even know each other. Like, we were just having this conversation.
We don't know each other.
We don't know where each other works, what we do,
So question number one, keeping it light. Who are you? What are you about? Just give us a quick bio.
Okay, quick bio. I'm Sihle Ntandokazi Bidi. Born in Eastern Cape, spent most of my time, or rather grew up in Pretoria, Witbank area. I'm a coconut for sure. Sorry, but that's just who I am. I'm also a mom. I'm an interior designer. I'm a friend. I am a sister. I'm a daughter to a mom who is so smart. Oh, her brain, it's insane. She is a professor. Well, starting to be a professor in applied mathematics. She has her doctorate. So black sheep of the family. Black sheep is me for sure, because I just chose, the art side. Like I said, I'm a designer, and I'm part of the AdventPod. Creating my own family here as well. So.
All right, and I'm Kano Pidane, born and bred in Venda. Spent most of my life there actually, until I came to Joburg for studying. And I'm here in Joburg. I have a background in computer science. I've dabbled as a software engineer for some time. Now I've moved into the buzz, the AI things. Like I'm following the trend, just doing whatever people are doing. And my brother always say I'm my mother's last born.
A mommy's born.
Oh wow! I'm my mother's last born. I have an older sister, an older brother. I'm that child. Yeah.
Nice. Hello everybody, Kahana Sidupane. I like to think of myself as a fun time vegan. That's who I am. Being vegan is part of my lifestyle. I don't force it on anyone. I just do my thing. I am also.
You force it on me. You force me to eat vegan. Like, if you don't have options at your place, you're forcing me to be vegan when I'm at your place.
At my place?
It's his place.
At his place. Keyword.
Thank you very much.
So it's either you don't want me or you want me to be vegan at your place.
But you're at my place now, so technically.
That's not the conversation.
You're not a vegan anymore.
I am also a sustainability professional, but I mean, most people might not know what that is. It is the space of ESG, environmental social governance, and
Still don't know what that is.
there are things that I would have to elaborate on, which my work doesn't allow me to elaborate on. But for now, just know that I'm in the sustainability space, and it's a growing space, so it's very new. I enjoy it. My background is chemistry, the science. So I am that guy. Brains, yeah.
No, you got brains. Don't
Kind of
got
shit.
brains.
It's cool. So I am also executive producer of the AdventPod. Can I
Yes,
say
sir.
that?
So if there's no content, guys.
It's me.
It's here.
It's me.
Actually,
Yeah.
both of them. Look at him saying it's him. Like,
Guys, it's him.
So
Right.
yeah, that's about it. But I'm also a musician and arranger for a group called Embraced Vocals.
Yes,
and
sir.
yeah, that is part of who I am.
Okay.
How are we friends? I mean, music, like, we always talk about that. How are we friends when music, like, you mean no
No,
music?
you are my friend for the mind. It's nothing to do with
Nothing to do with
other things.
music. Okay. I am Onane Selina Mwedi.
Yes, Selena.
Yes.
I did not know this.
Yeah. You didn't know that.
Oh, Selena.
Oh, Selena, my granny gave it to me. My granny was blind.
you do
when I was
look like
born.
a Selena. I see it.
So my granny was blind, and when she carried me, she said, apparently, this is the story, she carried me, she said, I think she looks like me, and I'm going to give her my name.
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
and
you
I
did
look like her. I'm the only light one at my house as well, my
Okay.
siblings. So, yeah, I am in the law space. I'm a lawyer. I'm not sure if I'm going to do attorney or advocate. I've worked in both spaces, and I'm like, "Ugh, it's not for me. So I might venture into something else soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, God planted something for the longest time, but you know what? We'll see in the next 6 months. I am a netball coach and an Empire qualified. Yeah.
Hey.
Qualified. So if you call me, you have to pay me because
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and that's like my biggest passion, netball. I love fashion and makeup. And I love dressing up for God more than anything.
Ooh, check out her
Yes.
Instagram.
Please, and officially
What a
Nanakim.
vibe.
Yes, and I like all things this. I like talking, I like growing. I think, and I'm part of the AdventPod, which helped me read
Yes.
the Bible. And yeah, that's who Nana is.
And we are all disciples.
Yes, and I grew up in Midrand. My whole life, so I went to school in Midrand from grade 1 till now. But I'm Venda. So I do go to Venda here and there. I'm not like him who was born there. But yeah.
Original Venda.
I'm a counterfeit.
What do you mean?
Both parents are Venda, but yeah. Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Right, thank you. I think
Actually,
now
when I was
we
at home, I was told I'm forgetting my vendor.
You are. Me, I was told I'm not Venda. Hey, I'm trying to be.
Tense.
Right. So, since joining the AdventPod, right, you were forced to be actively on social media, basically. Right? How has that affected your lives? Like, in 30 seconds, how has it affected your lives? We'll start with KG.
Self-critical.
Self-critical?
Very self-critical
Okay.
now, but also much more self-aware.
Self-aware.
That's it.
Kind of.
I was like someone who liked not to be seen a lot. But now I go places and like, we know you from somewhere. I'm like, from where? I'm like, I don't know you. Like, they're like, oh, AdventPod. She's like, I'm not used to that. I'm like, I'm used to, at least if you know me, I must at least know you. Like, you know, that kind of, so that was something that I don't think that, there'll be a lot of people who say they know me and I don't know them. Yeah, that change. Even when I'm everywhere, like, I need to be careful, okay,
With what you do.
with what I do now, because like AdventPod is like, you know, that
People
kind
are
of,
watching.
People are watching.
Are you watching us?
I think similar to you, Kano, people call me by name. Hi, CJ. I'm like, hi. Who am I speaking to? Like, my brain is just like over processing. Like, I'm even afraid to ask, like, Who are you?
Who are you?
But so literally with all of you being more self-aware, I wasn't really much on social media, and now I just see my face. I think we spoke about this earlier. Just seeing my face on YouTube, it's like weird. You know what I mean? It's saying like, oh wow, that's actually me, like actually speaking. And also learning the social media space in terms of what you can say, what you can't say, how to say certain things. It's been it's a learning curve, to say the least.
For me, it's a learning curve, and I was always out there, but now it's like, when I post, somebody's like, oh, okay, AdventPod girl, you know. So it's a thing of people know me. I'm known. So it's a lot, but now it's like even bigger. So it's like you can't go to a church and just sit at the back. No, it's like, I know that girl from somewhere, but I mean the mission is clear. So it's part of life, right? So what is the one verse that fuels you? Like
fuel.
Like you know, when you're down and bad and you need to wake up at 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock to go to work. What's that verse? And you're tired and you're demotivated. What's that verse that fuels you?
For me, it's John 3:16.
Okay.
For God so loved the world that he gave his begotten Son, that whosoever part believes in me shall not perish. That whosoever, so it's an open invitation to say that, you know, you don't have to be a specific kind of way. You don't have to look a specific kind of way to be a believer in Christ, to be saved by God. And just a short little thing, I met a homeless person recently, and he recently got baptized. I actually have his baptismal certificate sitting on my shelf. And I also got baptized, I think 2 weeks ago, and he was the first person I spoke to after my baptism. And I remember praying to God just before I got baptized, and I said, I want to hear you, I want to know you, I want to know what you feel like, I want to know what you sound like. And God sent a homeless person to bless me. He literally blessed me, and quoted for me the scripture, I think it's in 2 Corinthians 5:17, of being made anew. You know, he didn't even know me, you know what I mean? So it's that whosoever part where God can actually use just about anybody. You know, he's just a typical guy. You can walk past him, but God used him, and he used the belief that he has in his Christ to preach to me and to bless me. So it's those things that keep me going, for sure.
Nice.
So I think for me, it's actually not a verse, like the book of Joel, the first part of the book of Joel, right? It's a very, very interesting book. It actually starts with God speaking through Joel, right? To say, you know what, elders, have you ever seen this kind of calamities that are happening? Like this, like you've never seen, like in your time, have you ever seen this? Tell it to your children, and your children must tell it to their children. That means it was a hectic calamity, right? It was different kind of locust after the other, just eating everything. There was no food, literally. So Joel explains that even the wild fruits, the springs, everything was down. But then later on, then God says, I will restore, right? Not only just the things that, so he all the locusts that ate, like, because it was like, what the swarming locust will leave behind, the other locust will come and finish. Like, they were just, so he was saying, I will restore what each one of them ate. Like, I will restore everything. So, yeah, there's a saying in Venda, right? Like, God is not, God is not anyone's uncle. Like, is this God to us all? And that, like, you know what, even when things are low and bad, God always comes through and restores. Like, he restores every single time.
Right. I think the one that gives me fuel in the morning, specifically just fuel in the morning to get up and do something, is Ecclesiastes 10:10. It's my favorite verse. It says, if the axe is dull and a man does not sharpen the edges, they're going to use more strength, but wisdom availeth much. So the idea there, it's tied to that story when those guys were chopping wood in the forest to build a school of the prophets. And basically everyone was chopping, right? But those who knew that the fastest way to chop is to first sharpen your edge. The older people would know this, the younger maybe not so much. So it's just the thing of use the experience and the knowledge around you to sharpen your edges, sharpen your X, sharpen everything that you need to know about life. So I then seek out a lot of advice from people who are older than me, mentors, mother, like how did you buy property, how did you do this, how did you navigate that situation, and then it somehow comes into alignment. So once the edges are sharpened, you see things moving much quicker than when you're trying to use strength, which is something that young people do a lot. So that has been my thing.
Okay, nice. I think for me it's 2, right? Psalms 46 verse 5 currently, and the book of Ruth. Oh.
Hey,
Oh,
what a woman.
what a girl. So I like the fact that it's broken into 4 chapters, very short, and how in chapter 1 Ruth is literally crying. She's just lost her husband, right? And she then says to her mother-in-law that where you will go, I will go, right? The God that you serve, I will serve. And she goes back, and in chapter 2 is where she's now rebuilding, right? And then when she's rebuilding, she's gathering everything. And in her gathering everything, you can link it to life as to you could be building something, right? And for you to build it, you need to put in the work. So now you need to put in the work every day. That's why you must wake up. And then in chapter 3, which is the fruits of the labor, when you get paid and so forth, the fruits of the labor because you've worked, right? And then in chapter 4, it's where she now gets noticed by Boaz, even though he's a very old man. But that's not the point. She gets noticed, right? It takes us back to chapter 1 when she was crying because she had lost a man.
Yeah.
But at the end, her story is, do you understand? So
God
that,
who restores.
yeah, but she still gets to, I think in Matthew, Ruth is mentioned, right?
Yes.
She's not forgiven, like, she's not forgotten. And I think what do you want to leave behind? And you don't want to leave behind a legacy where you are just the girl that gave up, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the book of Ruth. And with Psalms, it's God is within her, she will not fail. So if I'm of God, why am I failing? And being procrastinating and not waking up means you're failing. And that means this verse doesn't make sense to you. It's not the truth. So yeah, that's that. I see smart kasi anyway, we do. Right, the next question, right?
Yeah.
Have we ever faced criticism and pushback from the content we put out?
Pushback?
Yes.
Pushback, yes.
Yeah, we do. And how do we deal with it?
The thing is, if it didn't happen, we would know there's something wrong.
True.
We need to see, for every revolutionary thing that you do, there should be something counter to that. And if you're not experiencing friction, it kind of means there's nothing special you're doing.
True.
Yeah. So how did I deal with it? I don't internalize a lot of things. I allow myself to separate myself from the ministry. So if Kahano is Kahano, the ministry is the ministry.
Okay.
I step into the ministry when I need to, and I step out of it when I need to be myself, so that I don't affect what's in the ministry doesn't affect who I am, and who I am doesn't affect the ministry. Simply that. Yeah.
I think that's
something
I'm learning for sure. Like separating myself from that. But I think for me it's difficult to do it because ministry is a part of my life. It's also a part of, I've internalized so much that it has become also my personality a little bit, you know. But definitely I just need to learn that part of separating, especially the emotional part of it. So
But also I remember they said they don't like confrontations and so forth. They just like it's like
I mean sometimes you're not really confronting. It's just like you're responding in
the response.
Like I guess you could I guess it's that thing I also need to learn as as us. Like, what's the difference between confronting and responding? And in that responding, are you responding in love or are you responding in retaliation? So it's that,
Yeah, understood.
Okay, so next question. Who are some of the Christians that you in your life that inspire you? So Christian content creators or pastors, elders, or anybody, even your mentor, who inspires you, and you're like, okay, I wanna not be like them, but understand where they have been and how they did it and how I can implement some of the things or do better. basically.
Is this where we name drop?
Name drop.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, if you're comfortable with name dropping.
Okay.
So I I had a friend of mine really. So I did say that my Adventist journey is a very interesting one, right? So my parents separated, right, just after I was born. My dad came back because he was working from far, so he came back home to this local church. This lady was like, "Nah, I'm not going to church with this guy." So she left the Adventist church, so we had to live with her. So now I had this friend, like, he was just a few months older than me. Like, he was just every single time come to me. Like, this was when I was still 11, 12. Just come to me, like, come back, like, forcing me to come back to church. It's like, but I know, like, he always tell me that, nah, man, I know you know the truth. You come back, right? Then I post my thingy 2014, 2015. I came back to the church, and if you've been back in Vanda, you understand Saturday classes are a very big thing, right? So he's one of those guys who, even when he was in university, like when we were told, like everywhere he went, they were told, you know what, you go to school on Sabbath. Like in high school, they said that in varsity he went that, like, it was impossible. But it was one of those people who I know, like, even when I did it, I was like, you know what, I know it's possible because there's that guy who pushed, like, standing for what's right. Like, he inspired me in that regard to stand for what's right, regardless of what happened.
What happens in the situation?
Yeah.
Okay. KG.
So I'm thinking, right? So there are people who I haven't met and there are people who I've met.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I'd much rather talk about the one I've met. As Elder Solombela. He's a guy that in my young adult Christian journey, so it's not been a long time knowing him, but in the era when, you know, I was coming of age, as it seems, he was someone I went to for a lot of guidance, even in business and entrepreneurship endeavors. And I think he was one guy who, when you listen to the advice he gives you, it always comes from a context of, like, align with God. Align whatever you do with what God wants you to do. And I think for that, I was like, yeah, even though for now I haven't spoken to him in a minute, but because he knows, what I'm going through.
But you were with him late last year?
You were with him late last year, but I mean, like, on a personal level. Yeah. He's a guy I call and I tell him he's kind of become a second dad in this era of my life. So, yeah.
I think for me it's like a lot, right? But the one that I had the encounter with is the lady called Sarahina Mayoyo, right?
Yeah.
I met her in 2022 and my life changed. Like, none of the girl that you see now that Jesus is because of that lady. Because she literally said, you need to heal, you need to face the demons, you need to whatever. And once you've done that, you're going to operate from a higher level, or you're going to become that nanny. So she taught me to unlearn first, because a lot of things that you unlearn to become, right? So that, and then she became a life coach, she became a mentor. And so Sarahina Mayo, she's got 2 books out. I think the first time I met y'all, I watched her written But God, right? So it's her brand where she says everything that has happened in life, but God. God then changes the narrative. So that lady for me, inspires me the most. And obviously, all these Christian content creators like Tan, Rorisan, Umi, man, I like what they're doing and what they're pushing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think people that I've not met, 2 people, definitely Rory Sang. She's amazing, and she inspires me in terms of the way she does Bible study and the way she interrogates Scripture. And you know how I always say, read the entire chapter. She's the queen of that. And then with music, there's this lady. Oh, you guys are gonna have me because she does She does
that thing.
yeah, it's the tongues thing, which is a very touchy subject when it comes to the Adventist Church. Simisola Agbegbi. She is I think she's Nigerian?
Yeah, she is Nigerian.
Yeah. Nigerian singer. Oh, the way she worships. Oh my god. It's like her soul just comes out of her. And she literally plasters herself onto the floor in worship, and she's always in awe of God. Same as her husband. And then with someone that I know, a pastor, Santon Church pastor, Pastor Simangani. Oh, that man knows how to teach. I think even the way in which he preaches, it's very like teaching. It's not preaching, if you get what I mean. He makes sure that you understand what he's saying, and most of the stuff that he says is always Holy Spirit filled. He just did prophecies of hope for the past 2 weeks, and just listening to him like interrogate prophecy, interrogate Daniel and Revelations, I understood in a very different level now, whereas I can actually really go back and actually like read with understanding because of the way he broke the head of gold and all of that whole structure. He's become also like sort of like a mentor to me. He doesn't know. I don't talk to him at all actually, but he mentors me through the screen. He mentors me every Sabbath. He mentors me with the way that he's just so kind. Just talking to him, he's so kind, very down to earth. And I aspire to be like him, in terms of teaching, preaching, if I'm ever going to reach there, and just being a grounded human being. I think kindness has been like my thing with him. He's just so kind.
Nice.
So I saw a comment one day, I don't know if it's still there, in one of our videos, and apparently we're Christian content creators.
Really?
Are we?
Or influencers as well.
Influencers.
Yeah.
That's a strong word.
Influencers even.
I don't know what influencer, but sure.
But you influencers, and this, I think the person who based off this comment was, you guys kind of influenced them to go and read, go and question stuff, to have conversations in their churches. So that is an influencer, guys. So Nina, your bio must change to Christian influencer.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
So, how do you feel being called a Christian content creator or a Christian influencer?
I don't think I comply with the influencer part. I think maybe it's because of what I understand an influencer to be. Influencer is kind of like a person that changes your mindset and makes you see things in their perspective. I feel like that's even what content creation is in general. You kind of like shifting people's thought processes in terms of, I don't know, I use a daily cream every day, you know what I mean? Like, and it does this to me, so try it type of thing. I don't know, that just, to me, it just feels, the word influencer feels fake because of what influencing is in terms of the world. Influencers always pretend to be using certain products that they're actually not. It's just a campaign. Whereas with us, I feel like we're more than just influencers. I think we're just, I'd appreciate teacher. I'd appreciate thought provokers. I'd appreciate that, because that's kind of what we are. But influencing, maybe there's a positive side to influencing, which is influencing people to read, influencing people to, but I think I don't want to consider myself an influencer. I just want you to see Jesus through me.
Yeah, same.
I just want
see
to
God
be
in
the
me.
vessel. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
I think just call Jesus the influencer, not me. I'm not an influencer, guys.
Yeah. For me, because of the type of person that I am, and I've said this before, it's just unfortunate that my ministry happens to be online.
Yeah, that's it.
If I had it my way,
You wouldn't.
I would be very quiet, ministering in my own way, but not too visible.
Yeah.
So I do think that I'm not an influencer in that regard. But I would appreciate if you called me a guy who does podcasts. That's fine. I don't mind that. Yeah, that's fine. If you call me, but also you can't call me a media guy, because nowhere near that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm just I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy.
Like, I always tell you this, that I try actually by all means not to be behind camera. Like, just I'm just that guy who wants to do things. So I'm more of a person who believe I should not be seen much. Like, even if the things I do doesn't really need to be seen. Like, that's,
you didn't want to sit here. You wanted to like we had to force him to sit.
I'm
behind the scenes.
I'm behind the scene kind of person.
I'll pray for you. And
Right.
intercede.
I'll pray for you. Actually, the thing that makes me very uncomfortable, and I tend to, it's getting a lot of thanks. I don't like that.
Praise, no?
I was just thinking, like I can do something for you. One thank you is enough, but I get people coming back like, hey, you did this. like
don't do it.
don't do that.
Okay.
Like, why? Like, I don't get. So even though this AdventPod thing, it was, for me, it was okay. Like, just just a little bit. But now I get people who are like, oh, I like your advice in AdventPod. I'm like, which one? Like, like,
Yeah.
like it really changed my. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, yeah. So
What's happening?
I think it continues.
Yeah.
It should continue. Yeah. So that. But the thing is, one thing about me is that I've always wanted, which is when at the end of it all, when we have to give account, right? I need to at least to say, you know what, I've changed someone's life, right? And that's what I aspire to say. Okay, I've changed someone's life in one way, 2, 3, or 4, right? I would have loved to do it some other way, not being in the public eye, just between me, them, and my God. That's how I'd prefer it. But just happened.
But life chose something else for you.
No, I just have bad friends.
I feel bad.
You just be that
You
friend.
might be a bad friend.
Like,
You're a bad
like
friend.
peer pressure, peer pressure.
So what is like the most meaningful thing that has happened since you joined AdventPod? Like wow, this thing's most meaningful. And when you think about AdventPod, you're like, I'll start. It saved me. I was in like a very dark place, and it literally, I think that the first day I met everybody, I was like, wow, this is gonna save my life. And then we did the first, what do you call it? When you go to different churches again?
Yeah, like a roadshow.
The roadshow. I was like,
Roadshow.
okay, this is, and you need to take yourself out of, God literally said, get out of the darkness. So it saved me. Yeah, more than anything.
I think for me, it's the DMs that I still get actually from especially females. Meeting you, I think has to be like my number one thing. The DMs that I keep getting are girls saying, because I did the venting and repenting podcast with Happy, and man, like, people are always just like talking about that. Like, we went back and we actually like watched the episode back, and it was so amazing. And going through that process that I went through, because I've done funny things to myself, and people are aware of it, and other people have experienced similar pain that I have, but have had different outlets. Mine just happened to be very visible, but others have done other things, and having people share their testimonies with me to say, yo, dude, like, your testimony has helped me get closer to God. I think that to me was number one. And I think why I'm also appreciating meeting you is the prayer sessions that we do with the ladies. There's a few ladies who come up who actually have asked me like to join and all that kind of stuff, and I've put them onto the group. So the subtle evangelism that we've been doing has been leading people in the right direction. And every Wednesday we're doing prayer sessions. We head those with the ladies. So it's those things that I think have been the greatest part about joining the AdventPod. It's opening up channels to other things that we can do in the social media space, and we're bringing people together, bringing a community of women, men, closer to God. And it's quite nice to have been a part of pioneering that.
For sure. You done?
Yeah, so I think when I started in AdventPod, right, I was more. So I'm more. I think you and I we do similar different content. You do more financial. I do more academic, right? I've been one person who believe in academic excellence in Adventist, right? And I've had a lot of testimony, like people who made me like, you know what, that episode about that, right? Like telling them about how to academics, and people who have made it academically and who are now their careers. And that's what I mean when I say, like, I just want someone to say, you know what, that turned my views on things, that made me a better person who now views academically different, right? So I want people to excel, like, in what they do. And AdventPod has been the space to make people aware that, oh, you know what, there is excellence out there. I can make it. And also, like, there is help out there. Like, I've used AdventPod also as a bridge to that, right? Like to get someone who needs help somewhere and someone who can help somewhere and unite and bring them together, right? And that it's important. Like it's been my key moments, like just making that combination.
Right. Okay. So mine is gonna be a bit on the money side. Bit on the money side. Okay, so let me be clear. When we started the AdventPod, I grew exponentially in my knowledge of tech and how it works and how editing works for these things, how and where to do things on YouTube and all these things. So I like literally put myself in the technical space of all of it. So the technical knowledge that has grown within me ever since starting the AdventPod is something really valuable. I could even put it down as a skill on my CV because I wasn't this person previously. I was a dabbler, but not at this level. So it really grew me in that level. But also, it helped me grow significantly in my entrepreneurship journey because it taught me lessons that I'd never read in books. I've always wanted to be, and I still will be, an entrepreneur eventually, but I've always wanted to learn first how to be an entrepreneur on a softer level before it hits me at, the big boys. So this is kind of where I've learned most of my crucial lessons around entrepreneurship. And project managing, it sometimes kicks me in the legs, and I'm like, how did I not manage that project effectively? And you then retweak, advise yourself. You say, no, do this better next time, do this better. So it's always those 1% improvements every time that have really helped me to grow in this space, like knowing who to contact when, strategically bring this person in for that purpose. I love it so much. Yes.
Okay, our last 2 questions. Right, first one is, what advice would you give somebody who feels like they want to start creating? So maybe a podcast, make videos.
Just start.
Just do it.
Just start. Have that blind, some people call it even stupid confidence. Just do it. Even if you have one view, you don't know what that one view is doing for that one person. And also, one view it's not parallel to how many people are viewing it. Because I could have 4 people in my house. That's one view. You get what I mean?
Yes.
2 views could be 10 people. 10 views could be 100 people. You know what I mean? So don't look at the numbers and think that's 10 people. No, it's actually probably double or even triple that. So just start. Just start. It'll all unfold. I feel like that's what happened with AdventPod. You guys just started. And then eventually something will come out of it.
We didn't just start. We waited for 200 subs.
Well, at least we started.
Exactly.
Like we executed on the idea. Execute on the idea. That's all.
Everything will fall in place. The equipment, everything will come together.
Start with your phone.
Yes, the people will come. The people that need to come to elevate, to take up space, they will come. They will do the most.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, so guys, come. Give us equipment. Give us money. Actually, invest in us.
Please.
Invest in us. Guys,
Please.
we're going to be big. You want to say you're part of that.
Yes.
I see it. I don't know if y'all see it too, right? Yeah, we're going to be big.
We need to
Give
do
us-
more outreach stuff.
Yes.
So.
Don't worry, we are coming for you. Last question, right?
Cool.
If we could collab with anybody, who would it be?
Anybody.
This is nice.
That's for you.
No, you don't say anybody. Who?
So, at the back of my head, right? We've done
The bold request. Basically, the bold request that we always talk about.
bold request. Wow. I don't know what you mean by that, because we've like most of the things that we have wanted, like we like.
But currently, if they could clear their schedule was clear and so forth, and we know that it's going to literally change the direction,
Of-
would it be?
On a business level,
Yes.
I would like to collaborate with Stephen Bartlett.
Okay.
I wouldn't want him
that
on the
bold
podcast,
request,
but I
yes.
want him behind the scenes of growing the business.
Okay.
That's Stephen Bartlett. That guy.
That's
Diary of a
what we
CEO guy.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's too good.
Yeah. No, he's amazing.
So for me, right, it's more. It's not really like that. Like in my ideal, it's not about the bold request, right? It's about the bigger reach that I would want AdventPod to have, right? So my vision of AdventPod and it's always been is to do more outreach, right? So my ideal would be to collaborate with people who are doing something like who outreaching out there, right? So like at the back of my head, like as an organization that just coming to my mind would be a 230 conversation kind of vibe, to say like, you know what, we collaborate on doing something that affects more people out there, right? Not just on the on what we tell them, but also on the action, right? We've done few things. I mean, we're starting down. We did we tried doing prison ministry, went to the prison and we preached there, things like that. But also things like, okay, how do we help you with your situation? Like, how can we help you in your situation? So yeah, we things like I sometimes think of, you know what, having some sort of a mentorship program, like as I said, to say AdventPod can facilitate mentorship program. Well, not really us being the mentors, but
we can find people,
finding the mentors and getting the mentees to mentor them in different careers, in different academic life. That's the request I would have for the AdventPod. You know, yeah.
It's noted.
If you need a mentor, comment. We'll find it. Don't worry.
He's good at finding mentors.
He'll find your. Don't worry.
Oh yeah,
We did that for someone.
We did it now.
Just
Literally.
now.
He did it in less than 24 hours.
Literally.
This guy's good.
wow. No, that was so.
Yeah.
Part of my portfolio, like. He was the chairperson of STASM. Like, the things that we don't say is I was his academic officer. Right? When he was chairperson, I was his academic officer. So as an academic officer, it was my responsibility to find mentors for first year students. Right? So yeah,
It's something you're good at.
yeah.
Just take the flowers.
Wow.
Take the flowers.
Yeah. I would say if Hope Channel were to, clear the schedule for us, that'd be dope, SID.
We have collab with SID.
Well, again.
And
Bigger.
And
Bigger
again.
this time, Even though I'm not really a fan of TV, because I feel like TV is also highly
Scripted. Very scripted.
It's very in a box.
It's
It's limited, because I kind of experienced it through Prophecies of Hope. I was kind of like part of the media team. There's countdowns for everything. Like, time is like the pastor needs to be on stage at 7:30 and he needs to be done by 8. Like, it's there's not even a time, like a proper time for altar calls and that flexibility. So TV is a bit like that, but I think it's something to explore, that we could also you know,
Give
jump
us the
into.
slot, man.
Yeah.
Give us the slot, just an hour. We need 2 hours as well.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Let's do the most. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for getting to this part. And if you get into this part, comment there below something. What was the comment? What was the comment?
They need to comment their mentor requirements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like things that you'd like to see from us.
Yes, comment
going
there, you know,
forward.
say,
Yeah.
leave a comment there, subscribe, like, share, you know. And
also
thank
just let
you.
us know if you need help with anything.
Yes, if you need help with
Yeah.
anything, like just slide into our Instagram DMs and we will definitely help you. We're always available, guys.
Always.
Yes.
Yes,
Guys,
we
you're
are.
9 to 5.
We are available.
Are
Like,
they?
trust us.
We will be available.
If you
Always.
don't answer in an hour, then there's a problem.
Someone
answer.
someone died.
Someone died, but we're always
But there will
available.
always be someone. Yeah.
So thank you for watching and signing out. Boo, 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 boo.
Thank you.
Great. A long lane. More than
E44.